What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about NIO. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what is really moving it, and go over everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So NIO is definitely showing some signs of life today, up 4.68%, 490 the low, 515 the high, and 34.7 million shares being traded. Of that though, most is coming from algorithmic trading as well as the dark pool, because on the secondary market, we're only seeing 2 transactions above $100,000. One buy for 126,000, the other one is a sell for 105. So nothing crazy coming from any institutions, nothing official coming out from NIO. So no press releases, no SEC filings or anything like that. An extension of NIO through NIO Capital. There was this announced saying that they are going to be investing 20 million in 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗡𝗖𝗧. And so a lot of people are saying that this is a positive. The only way that I can see that this is going to benefit NIO itself would be possibly just a stronger reselling market, because I know that's kind of not necessarily the strongest right now in China. So that's the only way that I think this kind of investment could truly benefit NIO. So let me know your general thoughts on that in the comments below. The big thing for the broader market, and that's really pushing a lot of Chinese stocks higher, is this right here. So a stronger yen. And in fact, it did get above that $7 conversion. And that's going to be the first time since 2024 that this has occurred. So in general, for companies that kind of deal in the States, that's going to be a better FX. And plus, for those companies that just deal in the States, whether that be importing or whatever else, which I don't believe that is NIO in any capacity, but I think in general, it's more of a sentiment. So a stronger yen, stronger economy for the most part. And yeah, I think overall that's a pretty good thing, really pushing just a lot of Chinese stocks higher. Also does kind of signal that authorities are more comfortable with kind of the economic conditions. And there's been some sketchy data points that's been coming out. So this again really shows that things are pretty good under the hood, if that kind of makes sense. Aside from all of that fun stuff though, you do have shorts returning 687,000 shares. 8.25% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 168.07 million shares overall being shorted. Some of you might be wondering, how did it jump up to the 8% range? Because I guess the last time I did a NIO video was on the 24th. After hours on the 24th, there was this that came out, the report. So ultimately there is 2 times per month is when the kind of exchanges disclose the true amount of shares being shorted. And it shows the 23rd as the release date, but it truly was the 24th. But ultimately there's about 167.69 million shares overall are being shorted as of this report. And those reports are always delayed, mind you. So it does really signal between November the 27th and December the 14th. Shorts increased roughly around 4 million shares more than what we thought. A lot of that is always done through the dark pool. So ultimately, this is why I always like to bring up the dark pool, because it kind of signals some abnormal transactions and as well what shorts are doing. So these are all the transactions occurring today on the dark pool. A lot of even kind of numbers, and that is a sign of more hedge funds. And most likely you'll be seeing more of those transactions over the next week or so, because Q4 is going to be coming to a end, and so a lot of institutions will be rebalancing. And given NIO's kind of lackluster Q4 performance, that's kind of a nice way of putting it. Ultimately, institutions will be buying NIO. That's kind of the moral of the story. So nonetheless, that's kind of a quick update on why we are now at that 8.25% of the free float being shorted. Aside from all that though, DTC still inching higher. So that is sitting at 3.08 days. So it really does signal that shorts are fairly overextended. And as per usual, still the shares on loan being at 74.09 million versus number of shares being shorted being 168 does signal that there is some naked shorting occurring with NIO. So definitely some sketchy stuff happening behind the scenes. Right now, looking at the options, 2.14 million in calls, 1.5 in puts, and then 56% of all the options being done are bullish in nature. From a bull standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be above 5. And I think that's going to most likely come to fruition. And then next week, a little bit more optimism. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub kind of 550, and then over the next couple of weeks, sub 5. With today being Friday, even though it kind of feels like a Monday, But with today being a Friday, just take notice of this. So if it is able to close above that $5 mark by the end of today, then you'll have 11,000 options in the money. So that might cause a nice little bump up going into next week, which similarly, we have a shorter week. So stay tuned for my video over the weekend where I go over some expectations and all the other fun jazz. Right now with it at 514, it is trading currently between this R3 and this R2. So 511, 506 as support points, and then 520 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. Aside from all that, quickly looking at the chart, it definitely is showing some good signs of life. So it was able to break above not only the 10-day moving average, which is a general good kind of indicator to look for momentum, and it did also break above the 200-day moving average, and that's sitting at 506. So you have 506 being on the fib level, so you pretty much have that good support. And if it's able to close above that today and as well Monday, because you typically need 2 consecutive days to really signal a trend, then you could be seeing a nice recovery. And I think generally going into the end of December, as they will put out their December numbers on January the 1st, I think there's going to be some FOMO, right? I know it's very easy to become bearish on NIO based on just crappy price performance and everything else like that, but if they actually hit their marks, and then yeah, in reality you could easily see this move higher. So let me know your viewpoint on that. As I've indicated in the past, all NIO needs is a nice gentle push. That is it, because even looking at the market position, you see a lot more willing buyers right here, but kind of sellers, not so much. So in general, all NIO needs is a nice gentle push, and that is pretty much it. Aside from that, no new analyst ratings, no articles really coming out associated to NIO, so it's kind of just piggybacking off the broader market, but all it needed was that push, like I said. So let me know your thoughts on NIO. Hopefully everyone has a good weekend ahead of them. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. I put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades. Worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.